Hello and welcome to episode 21 of Girlstreamers. Girlstreamers is the podcast bringing you the girl streamers that you know and love. Girlstreamers is a community that supports and promotes girls that stream. We are a bi-weekly podcast and we'll be introducing you to some amazing girl gamers and allow you, the viewer, to get to know some of your favorite streamers. My name is Nymphadora and I will be your host during this interview. Tonight, we will be interviewing Scarberry, and if there is time at the end, we'll take questions from the audience in the channel. This is a live podcast, but will also be available for download on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. What is up, Scarberry?
Nothing much.
I think I said episode 21. I meant to say episode 22. This is actually episode 22. You are episode number 22. So how has your week been?
It hasn't been bad.
That's always good.
So it's been warm. It's been warm and kind of rainy, so I can't complain.
Oh yeah, what area in the South do you live in?
Tallahassee.
Oh, so you're more southern than me. Okay, but you're also in Florida. So
It's basically Florida-Georgia line, so.
Yes, I used to
think beaches, and it's like, no, it's woods.
No, it's not. It's actually a lot like northern Florida is very similar to southern Georgia as far as what it looks like. Because I used to live in Valdosta. I went to college down at Valdosta State for a few years.
Okay, cool.
So
yeah, no, people try to force the palm trees and landscaping and stuff. It's like, oh, honey, no. No.
Oh my
Stop.
God. I used to work at Home Depot down there, which I loved it. Absolutely loved it because we didn't have a store manager because he got caught doing a pyramid scheme and selling like insider.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was locked out in handcuffs and everything. But it took him forever to get a store manager. But the assistant store managers were really awesome. And it was a bunch of college people that worked there. So it was actually a pretty cool store to work at. But yeah, that's what I worked in the garden center. We sold any kind of palm, frond, anything, like, because we don't sell like palm trees, but we sell like the sago palms and stuff like that. Right. Oh my God, that was like one of the most popular. Everybody, do you have sago palms? No, I'm sorry, we're out this week.
Come back later. Yeah, no, everyone loves the palm trees. And it's just like, no, it's not that kind of Florida. That's the other kind of Florida. You need to go further south. They
actually still have some like pine trees up in northern Florida.
Oh yeah, no, we got pine trees everywhere. They're super tall.
That's awesome. That actually answers one of my questions. It has been 2 weeks since we've had a podcast. Our last podcast was Aaliyah, and that was two weeks ago. Yes. Because my husband's birthday, Easter had come up, and then my husband's birthday was Easter. And I didn't want to do a podcast that day, 1, because it was his birthday, 2, because it was Easter. And then the next one was actually technically the day off. So because I shuffle the dates around when there's like a holiday or something special going on. So that's why I do it bi-weekly for people who are like, oh, where's the podcast? We haven't heard it in a while. Sometimes I will shuffle podcasts around so you get like 2 or 3 in a row because of the way, because we technically have off. We'll be on, then we'll be off like next week, and then we'll be on again. Well, last week was technically our off week, and then the week before that we should have had a podcast. However, because it was Easter and my husband's birthday, I was like, no, I'm not doing a podcast this weekend. So I did Leah's the week before. So, it kind of got a little, trust me, my system, I know how it works, and that's the only person who needs to know how it works.
Well, welcome back. We missed you.
Well, welcome to the podcast. So, yeah. So for anybody who was questioning why I took such a long break, it wasn't on purpose. Well, it sort of was, but, So how did you come up with your screen name?
Scarberry. So it was one of those things that popped in my head when I was laying down to sleep, honestly.
Those are the best ideas.
Yeah, it was just like, and so it was one of those things that right when I'm falling asleep, it popped in my head, and then of course I couldn't sleep for a few more hours because I was so excited about it. But I have quite a few scars. I have children and things like that, and I mean that's a whole nother, like, that's a longer story. But I have a bunch of scars that I'm really self-conscious about. So you know, like that whole origin story with Batman, where it's like, oh, he fell down the well and all the bats, and so he was scared of bats. So then he tried to own what he was scared of. So that's where I got Scar from, and then the berry part just seemed a little bit more kawaii to me. And then I got the idea for my Scarberry icon, and then it stuck. And after that, I had to use it. So.
Oh, that's awesome! I like it. I like it. So we discussed my question of where you're from. You're from the South.
Yep.
So what is the first game you played that got you into the gaming world?
I mean, because I've played video games my whole life, but I wouldn't have ever identified as a gamer until, honestly, it was probably World of Warcraft's, like vanilla and then Burning Crusade back then. My little brother introduced me to it, and then I kind of got hooked on playing that game for a few years. So I guess that's kind of where the gaming addiction started.
I still play it.
Yeah, I've switched MMOs since then. Now I play Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay.
14. I play Heavensward. So I have switched MMOs, but I will always be nostalgically fond of World of Warcraft. So
Horde or Alliance?
Horde, of course.
Thank you. Yes.
For the Horde.
For the Horde. Screw you, Carice. For the Horde. She's an Alliance player.
Oh, goodness.
And she plays a Huntard on top of that. So
nobody's perfect. It's okay.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. I actually met my husband in WoW, so
nice.
I now have a stream on Fridays with him where we're leveling up our characters old school. So we are no heirlooms, and we're getting drunk at the same time.
Oh, of course.
So it's actually pretty funny.
Actually, the first time I met my, I did quotation marks with podcast, so air quotation marks, I met my husband on World of Warcraft because we both played Shadow Priests. He was a friend of my little brother's. And so my little brother got him to teach me how to do, like, to properly, like, optimally play my Shadow Priest because I was still learning. And then we met a couple of years later. A friend invited me out to a trivia night. We met in person, and it was even later still, a couple of years later, we connected that we had actually spoken on
that's cool.
World of Warcraft because he had a headset and a mic, but at the time I didn't have a headset, so I was typing in all my questions and things like that. So he had never heard me speak. But yeah, we connected it later, but technically the first time we met was on World of Warcraft.
Hey, that works. That works. Yep. So now you can tell everybody you guys met in WoW.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I too have a little brother who is a big gamer, and I'm so excited. He finally got his computer back because he's in the military and he just moved, and the movers broke his $2,000 computer.
Oh, of course they did.
Yeah. So, but he's in the military, so they pay for when that crap happens. So,
nice.
But yeah, we play video games together. How old is your little brother?
Oh, my little brother is 28, but he doesn't play games with me because he's kind of a gamer elitist. So he introduced me back in the day, but we don't play games together.
What's the age difference between the two of you?
3 years. So.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
I'm trying to see if I should go like 3 or 3.5, but yeah, no, it's closer to 3 years. So.
Yeah, we have 6.5 years between us. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, little brothers are so good about getting you into games. Little brothers are awesome, man.
Yeah, fond memories when he was a kid. Like, he'd play Resident Evil and couldn't figure out the puzzles because he was too young. So I'd help him with the puzzles, and then I'd have to run out of the room because I'm afraid of zombies. So I couldn't watch the game, but I'd help him with the puzzles. Good times.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. So, how long have you been streaming, and what actually got you into streaming?
Well, let's see. I've done YouTube for a little over a year now. Streaming was less time than that. I guess probably like 8 months now. I started on Twitch, and recently, the past few months, I've been streaming almost exclusively to Beam and been having a blast over there. Uh, so yeah, streaming, I've been doing probably a total of 8 months.
Oh wow!
Um,
So you're still fairly new.
I'm still a baby streamer, yeah. But what got me into it is you would get your channels that you're a big fan of, but then you'd start to see things that they do in games that would frustrate you. Have you been like that? And so it's
Yes.
like, oh, why did they do that? Like, I wouldn't have done that. They needed to do this. And then it was just kind of like, my husband said one day, he's like, well, you should stream. You should try it. And I was like, well, why don't I try it? And so then I did. And then I learned exactly how difficult it is to play games while streaming. Once you actually stream, you get such an appreciation because it's like when you're just watching, you're like, how did they make those mistakes? That was such a simple thing. And then you play and you actually stream and you realize, oh my God, no, this is a whole new level of juggling that I was not aware of. So that respects for every streamer out there because I understand now.
It
I get
is. It really it's so because you're trying to not only are you trying to play the game, you're trying to talk to the people in your channel. So that's distracting and you're trying to be entertaining at this. So you have like 3 or 4 different things on top of you while you're streaming. So the gameplay is
Crazy. Sorry.
secondary to it.
Sorry.
I saw him come in, but I don't think it was on. I don't think we got it on the stream. Just so you know,
Okay.
He's good. He's good.
He's good. You didn't make it on stream, don't worry.
I saw him. He was like, her.
He's
So on camera, her husband was trying to sneak past and not be seen. You could totally. I could see him, but they can't see him.
That's right.
So, what is the most embarrassing thing to happen to you on stream?
Well, I mean, I'm not embarrassed by that, but so recently on Beam, I passed 1,000 followers on Beam,
Oh,
and
nice.
which is amazing, and it was so exciting, and I was crying, I was so happy, and then my internet cut out,
No.
and oh my God, and so this is one of those things like this, the height of elation to just bottomed out, just pit of my stomach hit the floor, just panicking. And we managed to get my stream back up. Fortunately, one of my streamer friends, I had her number, and so I texted her real quick so she could kind of damage control and chat while I was fixing things and restarting my router, which takes like 15 freaking minutes, and just oh my God.
That's
But that was
awful.
embarrassing because it was huge, and all of a sudden I had all these viewers, and there were some big streamers that stopped by, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, technical difficulties, of course. When I'd like to make a good impression, technical difficulties happen. So that's really the most embarrassing thing that's happened. Because then of course I come back in and it's like the hype train's gone. I'm like, hey guys,
That
welcome back to me.
sucks. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That's the most embarrassing thing so far.
Do you
So far.
do you stream exclusively on Beam or do you sometimes stream on Twitch?
No, I'm part of the extralife official stream team. So I stream at least once a week. Every Tuesday night I stream to that channel, Extra Life for Kids. And then I do restream occasionally. When I do my Extra Life stream, I will restream to my channel. This year I'm thinking about doing extra charity streams, and so I'll restream for those. And then I'll restream. I have another friend who his time slot is on Saturdays, and he's teaching me how to play Sky Factory 3.
Okay.
And so I restream for that as well. So I don't stream every day to Twitch. It's once or twice a week.
Yeah.
But I do still stream to Twitch. I still have love for Twitch.
Very cool. Very cool. Because with the new affiliate stuff, which
Yeah.
you can't do the restreaming stuff if you do the affiliate. You have to
Right.
stream only on Twitch.
Right.
But I don't think that means you can't stream on Beam. It just cannot be at the same time.
It's you can't stream to another platform for 24 hours after your last Twitch stream.
Yeah, and
which is hardcore. So I'm personally not interested in the affiliate program, and I'm going to be applying for partner on Beam soon.
Well, with 1,000 followers, I can see why. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. It's a shameless self plug, sorry, but I'm really excited about that. I'm writing my application. And so I'm going to be focusing there, but I still love Twitch. That's where I started. I still have plenty of friends that stream to Twitch that I love to check out their channels. Even if I'm working, I lurk. So
yeah. I've actually seen you lurk in my stream a couple of times.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I got accepted into the affiliate program, and
congratulations.
OBS went down for some reason. So we'll stop for just a second. Yeah, so back to what we were talking about. Yeah, I got accepted into the affiliate program, but I am having issues with because I didn't drop my maiden name when I got married. I kept it, so I have all 4 names. Oh, and but you can't put all 4 names on the tax forms.
Oh, right.
So filling out this stuff, so I'm having problems with the name situation, getting it to go through.
Right.
So I'm not exactly sure who I need to contact to figure that stuff out. But but yeah, shameless plugs. That's the whole point of the podcast. It's to shamelessly plug yourself. So you're perfectly fine. Don't worry. So yeah, partnership on Beam. That sounds awesome.
No, we'll see. I mean, I have to apply first, but I'm hopeful.
Well, good luck.
At the very worst, you get really helpful feedback. I have some friends who have gotten partnered, and I have friends who have gotten turned down, but they always give really helpful feedback on your channel. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, good. That's good. Yeah. So what type of games do you like to play and stream?
I consider myself a variety streamer. I have gotten on a Paladins kick recently. I am so obsessed with Paladins. I love that game.
Is that the one that is like Overwatch, but it's the free version?
To Overwatch.
Okay.
I like it because it's a little bit slower paced, and there aren't so many, for lack of a better term, there are less tryhards playing it at any given time. People, because I'm not that great at FPS games. I'm actually pretty new. Well, I'm pretty new to FPS games, so getting people yelling at me from across the internet because I'm not playing well enough at Overwatch is a little frustrating. But
I'm a
Paladins,
tryhard, even though I suck. So yeah.
See, no, I self-identify as a filthy casual, so I have fun with these games. But some people take it so seriously, and so I make people mad at Overwatch. But I have been practicing more with Overwatch, but mostly Paladins, and then I guess probably Minecraft. I do play that for extra life. I love Minecraft.
That's a fun game.
I still get freaked out by the zombies and the Endermen and stuff like that too. So people seem to think it's funny to watch me play because children can handle this no problem, and I'm sitting there freaking out at the sounds.
The sounds,
that's
especially
my 2 big ones.
The sounds for the Endermen are creepy.
The sound design in Minecraft is what makes that game so good, in my opinion. In my humble opinion, I think if the sound design wasn't nearly as good, that game wouldn't have been as popular at all.
It is very, very, it is really good sound. I've been thinking about getting back into some Minecraft lately because, JL Pucci has an awesome Minecraft stream.
Yeah.
I love watching her Minecraft stuff. And, have you heard of Don't Starve?
I have. And I have it. And I have the Don't Starve Together. And I'm really bad at that one too. I get us wrecked. Oh my god. There was this one time I was playing for my extra life stream actually, and it was like 20 hours in, I'm tired, and I'm looking through the list of things you can make, and I'm like, oh, I can make the book of tentacles. I wonder what that'll do. And so I made it. I was like, all right guys, I'm gonna use it. And I did, and I wrecked us. I wrecked our fort. It was so bad. It turned out to be okay later because a pack of dogs showed up, and the tentacles took care of the dogs, but the tentacles also took care of guarding all of our stuff in the chests we had made because that's where I was standing. So we couldn't get to any of our things anymore. It was bad. So I learned a hard lesson that day. But I have played Don't Starve. I have a lot of fun playing that on stream. And then with Stormblood, the new expansion coming out with Final Fantasy, 14, I'll be playing that more and more on stream, so I can, because I'm pretty far along in the game, but I'm not to all of the end content yet, and I want to get to the end content before Stormblood comes out. So.
Oh, that'll be cool. Yeah, we I have a Don't Starve Together stream that I do on Sundays with one of my mods and best friends, and we had done so well. We had 30 days, and then a deer clops comes in and wrecks our camp and wrecks our faces, and we had to start all over again. 30 days. That's the best run we've ever had. We were in the middle of winter. We were starving anyway. We probably would have.
We died. We were all ghost running around, and suddenly the deer clops showed up. But all you can see, and when it's pitch black, all you can see is its eye. So I didn't know what it was yet. Oh, that thing was creepy. And then the sun came up. I was like, oh, that thing just looks goofy. Never mind.
Oh, God. Oh, I love that game. All right, we'll have to play some Don't Starve together soon.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
So what would you say is your favorite game then?
Ooh, favorite game.
Okay, all right. We'll split that into favorite game right now and favorite game of all times.
See, that's not any easier. That's not an easy question. Goodness.
Well, you know, like right now, most people have like a favorite game or a favorite movie or something of the moment, but of all times, they have like an absolute favorite of all times.
See, movie's easier. That's The Fifth Element. That one's easy. I love The Fifth Element.
That's a good movie.
So good.
See, I can't answer that question for movies because I'm a movie person. So it's like, what do you mean? What's my favorite movie? Do you mean like what genre? Like in this genre, this is my favorite movie. You know, so I can't answer that question.
The game that I've always kind of like come back to that I love is Contrast. I think that game came out in 2013. It's the same developer, same game developing house that made We Happy Few. But this was like their first game, and I think it's beautiful and it's beautifully done. So Contrast is probably my favorite game.
What is that game about?
It's you play as I don't want to spoil anything, so it's hard to explain. You play as I think the imaginary friends of this little girl. And the game mechanic is that you can blend into shadows. Is it like the shadow where
she like walks? I've seen that. I've seen that being played, and it's like this. You go into these like crazy. It looks like almost dreamlike worlds because there's like. Oh yes, I've seen. Yes, I want to play that game.
Beautiful, and the story is so good, and it's stylized so well. And so I recommend that game to literally everybody. That was actually because the recommendation when you're starting streaming or when you're starting YouTube, like a first game series and things like that, they always say to pick a game that you know pretty well and that you love. And that was the first game I played on YouTube. Played through on YouTube was Contrast because I love that game so much.
That is a gorgeous game. I always forget what the name of that game is. So, because I want that game. Okay, all right, Contrast. I need to write that down so I can remember to go look it up.
Yep. Yeah, I can't recommend that game enough. It's so pretty, and it's just that I love any game with a good story.
Yes,
and that one has a good story.
Yes. So if that's your favorite game of all times, what's your favorite game right now?
Probably Paladins. Although now that I'm learning more about Sky Factory 3, I'm starting to get a little bit obsessed with that just because it's so fun I'm learning so much in that game, so it's like this new excitement with that game. I know Sky Factory 3 isn't the newest game, but it's new to me, dang it, and I'm having a good time with that. But Paladins is, I have become kind of a try-hard at Paladins. So.
Well, if you like Paladins, then you'll probably really, especially the new thing with Overwatch right now is the one where you're basically playing against Omnics, so you're not playing against other people, and it's really cool. And they have one where you can pick any character. They have one where I did play
that actually, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna Bastion main for forever now because playing as Bastion for that was so much fun.
It was I do like that game mode right now. I don't want it to be. I wouldn't mind it being one that you can choose from in the future and have like different maps. But I do like the Overwatch Uprising event going on, which ends Tuesday.
Oh no, it does? Okay, I'm gonna have to play it more then.
Yes. So if you want skins and stuff.
I don't think I've gotten a single skin yet at all. I think I just had really bad luck with that though.
I've got only a couple, and I love that I always make it about Overwatch. Okay, we're gonna move on from this. So what if you have one? Because I know you said you're a variety streamer. What would you say is your main game if you have one?
Yeah, that would probably be a toss up between Paladins and Minecraft. I think it's probably evenly split with those two.
What attracts you about that game?
Paladins, I think, is a very accessible game, and it's slow enough paced, and it's a free game, so it's really easy to get into. As a streamer, it's fun because it's free. While I'm streaming, I can invite people to come and play the game with me, which you don't. Obviously, there are plenty of multiplayer games you can do that, but especially the price point on that,
yeah,
it's awesome that you can be like, no, go download it right now. You can join up in a game or two. And people have, and it's been really fun. So I've really enjoyed that, being able to play with my viewers. And then Minecraft for obvious reasons. One, because I'm kind of late to the game on Minecraft, so I'm learning all this stuff as I go. And so it's still new to me.
It's been so long for me on Minecraft. Yeah. I mean, I think the last time I played was the 1.4 patch when they just put out horses. So if I started playing Minecraft right now, I'd be a noob too.
Just the fact, like, I got way more excited than I should have about being able to create an anvil. So, like, that's where I'm at. But I'm having so much fun with it. And then, of course, I get completely tilted when it comes to, like, the zombies and the monsters coming at me. So, it's been, people have apparently really enjoyed how stupidly scared I get over the monsters in that game. But, yeah, those are a toss-up. I love both of those games.
I like the point about the Paladins because it is a free. We do Hot's Mess and open that up to the communities, and like Heroes of the Storm is a free game. So a lot of people, I've had several followers go download it so they can play it with us. Yeah, that's a fair point. That is really cool. So what game character? I know I sent these to you beforehand. Mm-hmm. So what game character do you think you most closely identify with?
Tingle from the Zelda series. No, I'm just, well, yeah, kind of actually, because I'm an adult, but I don't feel like an adult. I want to be a kid forever. So yeah, probably.
If you play video games, still, you probably will never feel like an adult.
Yeah, so Tingle actually is more accurate than I'm comfortable admitting. But yeah, I
don't remember who that is.
Tingle is he was a shopkeep in one game. In Majora's Mask, he was the one floating around on a balloon.
Oh,
I think he was floating around a balloon.
That guy. Okay, yeah.
And then besides that, probably Toad from Mario, because I squawk a lot and I complain a lot, but then I don't actually really help much. I'm just kind of there. And yeah, that's me. So I'm either Tingle or I'm Toad.
That's so awful, but it's funny at the same time. So that is so great. So, do you tabletop game?
I do. I haven't in a while though. My tabletop group kind of fell through. But I haven't done D&D really, but we did Pathfinder, and then I played other games like very like Lovecraftian style games. We played a lot of those. And then my absolute favorite game was what was it called? I want to say it was like Betrayal in the House on the Hill.
I think I've heard of something similar to that.
Something like that, but that was my favorite one. That one was so much fun.
Okay, so I'm just going to prove that I'm the best wife in A because we tabletop game, all right? So my husband used to be the DM of his group back in California because he's from California. So he turned 50 this year. And for his 50th, and the only reason why I'm saying this right now is because it was yesterday. The party was yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So, his birthday was Easter, but I was trying to schedule a D&D game with the Roll20 software. So they could play, and so all of his friends could get together and play. They played yesterday from 11 o'clock until about... No. It was... What time was it? It was 8:30. 11 o'clock until 8:30 our time.
Yep.
Playing D&D. And when they got done, they were like, oh my God, I miss playing D&D. We need to do this again. So now they are trying to set up a monthly game so they can all get together and play. Because
nice.
One person moved to New York. Some of, like 3 of them are still in Southern California. The other one is in Northern California. So Roll20 has Pathfinder available and the new one 5e available. So as a fellow tabletop gamer, you should check it out. Because it's really cool being able to get people together to play it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Plus, it's got this really cool video software. You can do voice and video through the software. And it'll have everybody's videos down at the bottom so you could stream it.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yes. So I'm like, oh, man, now that I'm learning the software a little bit more, I'm not sure. I may have to come up with a D&D game. So...
do it.
If we do, I'll let you know.
Yes. Don't toy with me. Don't toy with my emotions.
It's actually okay. All right. It's so cool that with the way the software works, you click on a button and it will basically roll it with you, plus add whatever your bonuses are for your attack roll. So you'll see like what's your attack roll and then what your damage is on that attack roll. If you hit the minion or whatever. And I was like, man, this software is pretty cool. That way you don't have to deal with trying to do all the calculations. You can input everything digitally, and like keep up with your stuff without having to erase and write down. I was like, that's not gonna lie, it's pretty good software. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of my wife's skills right now. I'm on cloud 9.
I mean, I'm proud of your wife's skills, so nicely done. Also, happy belated birthday to your husband.
Thanks. Yeah, so that's what we did this weekend.
Nice.
So yes, fellow tabletop gamer, we will have to see if we can't. I'm still learning the software. But I'll have to see if I can't do maybe a Girlstreamer. I've been told, so many people are like, you need to do a Girlstreamer D&D game. So we'll see if we can't finally make that happen.
Oh, I'm going to be the burliest of barbarians.
I usually prefer to play like a rogue, ranger rogue character, but... All right, we'll move on. I'm sorry. I had to toot my own horn there for a second because I was super proud.
Well deserved.
So back to you, because this is about you. What games are you excited about that are coming out soon, if any?
Oh, there's a couple. I'm excited about Stormblood. I'm really excited about the expansion. It's coming out this summer. I'm also really excited about the Friday the 13th game, which is coming out at the end of May.
Is it finally coming out?
They announced a release date, and it's actually, I think it's up for pre-order now on Steam if you play it on PC. For people listening, I know that they're not doing pre-orders on PlayStation because there was something like if you did pre-orders, you wouldn't get them until after the release date. They explained it on their Twitter, but like they're not doing pre-orders for PlayStation. You can just download it on that, like you just buy it on the day it releases.
Probably because of the way you have to go through PlayStation. Because I know a lot of the stuff for Overwatch, because of Jeff Kaplan explained it, because they have to go through like 2 or 3 levels before they can actually send the updates and upgrades and stuff to Overwatch on console. So that's why the PC stuff usually goes, because they have to go through their servers because they don't have a console server. So it's probably something similar to that. Right.
But yeah, Friday the 13th, I was lucky enough to win a closed beta key on Twitter, so I got to play the closed beta.
Is it looking good?
It's so campy. It's so deliciously campy. I loved it so much.
Oh, yes.
It's just, I'm really looking forward to how fun it is. The way that game works is that you have up to 8 players, And if you keep the same lobby, which I would recommend trying to play with like the same people and keeping the same lobby, because it's random who gets to play as Jason. As far as I can tell, that's how it worked in the closed beta. That doesn't mean that they won't necessarily change that, because they might set it up like Dead by Daylight, where you can choose to wait to play as the killer. But for the closed beta, it was just a lobby of 8, and someone was randomly picked as Jason, and you got to play as Jason. And I almost like that better. Because it seemed a little bit more fair.
Yeah, you won't get quite as trolly killers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And especially playing with friends, it gets incredibly fun. People are trash talking.
Yeah.
My favorite moment in the closed beta, I was actually streaming it, and there was some dude trash talking, like this is so bad, and was like dancing around the car. And so then I just kind of like backed off for a little bit, but I could still hear him, because if you're talking in your mic, you can hear the people, which was a neat feature. So I just kind of followed closely. He tried to swim across one of the like waterways, and then I drowned him. And so he's sitting there making fun of me. I guarantee he was streaming. He was making fun of me, and all of a sudden he just goes, "Oh," because I got him.
Nice.
It's the best moment. So no, it's one of those things I would highly recommend getting that game to anybody if you have friends to play with, because there's still going to be people that are going to be kind of jerks. You always get that in those communities. But I did get to play with some of my friends, and we had the best time. Also, I want to say last year, which is another game like that, like Dead by Daylight and like Friday the 13th, the game is supposed to come out this year. I'm hopeful.
I haven't heard of that one, but I like Dead by Daylight, but I think King Nightmare she knows the game more than I do, because she plays every Wednesday.
Oh my god, she's amazing at it.
I know, she's great. I love, like, I'll go and play with them every so often on Wednesdays. But she was saying they kind of pushed it a little too quickly to get it out. And so I like that about the Friday the 13th game, that they're actually taking their time.
Right.
And we're like, okay, this isn't good enough to put out. I'd rather wait and put it out a little bit later. Because, I mean, there's a lot of problems with Dead by Daylight. Right. Mainly the peer-to-peer server shit. Like, I'm sorry. Why are you working that way? I should not be reliant on somebody else's connection to be able to play a game.
Right.
Like that.
The last time I tried to play a match, I couldn't turn left.
Oh my god!
So I haven't. It's been a little bit since then, because that was kind of tilting. And then before I forget, there's a game. There's a developer that I've actually started chatting a little bit with on Twitter and stuff like that, because I saw his game. And so I reached out because I'm so excited about this game. But it's an indie game that I'm hoping is going to come out this year. It's called Dark, DARQ.
Okay.
But it is another stylized indie game. But if you haven't watched the trailer, just go look up Dark trailer on YouTube. It is beautiful. It's a scary game. It's the most scared. The trailer is the most scared I've ever been by a chair. Let's just put it that way.
This sounds like the perfect game for Carice and King Nightmare, because they do scary games.
It just looks absolutely beautiful, and it's stylized. It reminds me a little bit of like Tim Burton movies.
I love Tim Burton.
Yeah, so that's kind of what the style of the characters reminds me of, but it just looks so good, and so I've been watching the progress. I'm so excited. So I just had to pimp that out too, because I really like that developer, and so I really want that game to go well. I want it to sell well, because it looks really cool to me.
I like I did Layers of Fear a while back. I don't do a lot of horror games, because I get jump scared real easily. I don't know what happened. The older I get, the more scared I get. I used to be able to sit down and watch movies that jump scared me and be like, oh, that's about to be a jump scare. That's about to be a jump scare. And even though I know it's coming, I still jump now. I don't know what my problem is, because I can analyze it and be like, I know what's about to happen, but it still scares me.
Yeah, no, you hear the music ramp up or stop, and you're like, a jump scare is right around that corner, and then it still gets you.
But Layers of Fear was a beauty. I mean, I don't don't like scary stuff anymore. I can't do it. I like it, but I don't at the same time. It's weird. It's I don't know, maybe I'm masochistic. Who knows? But it's a beautiful game. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it.
But it was part of a recent Humble Bundle, so I have it now.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have it now. So I might actually try it. I've never really like I love the stories behind scary games, but I'm not good at being scared.
Yes.
But my viewers really like seeing me scared, so
Same.
I'm trying my best. Like I just recently played through season 1 of The Walking Dead, despite my phobia of zombies.
That's such a good game.
It was, and then they immediately wanted me to start season 2. So I think I'm going to start that next week. And I'm not like I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not. So yeah, but yeah, I have Layers of Fear now. I'm gonna have to try it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. The story is redonkulously good. And I even like spoiled myself on the story so I wouldn't get scared, and I still got scared. Like I read through it and I was like, okay, all right, I should be good now. I still got scared. It's a beautiful game though. Absolutely beautiful game. I highly recommend it. Awesome. So yeah, I'll probably have to do a scary game stream soon. My followers.
You really sound like you're looking forward to it.
My followers have been asking for another one too. So,
nice.
So I'm with you on the scary stuff.
I just Friday night I played through Little Nightmares, and that's a new one that came out, and it was really good. So I recommend that one as well. That one twisted pretty good. That was a scary game that got kind of twisty. Which
Nice.
I recommend that one. I know a lot of people recommend Outlast too. I can't do the gore on Outlast. That's just too much for me. But Little Nightmares, I think, was really well done.
Layers of Fear can get a little gory. I don't want to give too much away.
Right.
But it can get a little gory. But it's not like it's not like zombies eating people's faces off gory, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, which to me, that kind of gore gets a little too much. Like, The Walking Dead TV show goes a little too overboard with that sometimes.
Like, I don't normally play those kinds of, like, I don't play games like Outlast in the same sense of, like, I don't play the hyper-realistic war games for the same reason. I just don't like gore. So, like, it's not like I have anything against them. It's just that's not stuff I like to see. And I don't like causing it, I guess, is really my big thing. I don't want to cause that even to NPCs, so I don't play those games.
Oh, those poor NPCs.
I feel bad. It's so stupid, but I feel bad.
I feel you. I totally get it. I totally get it. What is so what do you think is the one game you would want to have a reboot of or a remastering of, or is there a game that you'd like to see rebooted or remastered?
I'm trying to think, because a lot of older games, if I still like to play them, I like the charm they still have, the fact that they're still older styled. Like I do enjoy game nostalgia.
Yeah.
So normally I get really cringy whenever I hear there's a new remaster or reboot of a series or anything like that, because like, I mean, you see what they do with movies a lot of times where they'll do a remake and you're just like, why? And so I kind of feel the same way a lot of times with games where it's like, yeah, you updated the graphics, but like, why?
But why though?
Yeah, and so like I like like pixelated games. I like older styled games. I don't know. So yeah, I'm not opposed to remasters and things like that, but it's not like I'm just dying for a game to get remastered, because older games that I love, I liked playing them as they were.
Yeah.
Like I originally started on PC playing the old King's Quest games, and there's a game called Gold Rush, which did actually just get a re-release and a remaster, and it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine, but I liked the old version just as much. I didn't see it as necessarily improved because they remastered it. You know what I mean? So like,
I think my favorite thing is when they take games that just because they're so old, you cannot see them on the new technology. Right. So they update it so you can play it on the new technology, but it still looks the same, like if you were to play it on a like old
Porting
technology.
Games, if you port a game, I am all about it. I love that stuff. But changing a game because you feel this need to like have super high res graphics and high frame rates and stuff like that, and it's like, I don't know, sometimes that's part of the difficulty of a game is that the controls were clunky. So we're like, well, we updated it and everything's so smooth now, and it's like, but now the game's not hard anymore and there's no challenge to it. That was what was so ragey about that game, is that, you know, you try to swing your sword and 2 seconds later it would swing. I don't know. So I usually prefer, like, ports are fantastic. But as far as remastering or rebooting a game, I usually would rather just play the old one and be, you know, a gaming hipster.
Oh, like, you're such a hipster.
I know.
Oh my God. Where's your hat? Your hipster hat?
My hipster beanie? It's in the wash.
Actually, those are really cute. I like those.
I actually really like beanies.
So, all right, we'll get a little serious. This is a serious part of the podcast. Who inspires you to be the woman that you are today?
That's not a very fun question for me. I have a lot of examples of things I don't want to be. Mm-hmm. And I've had a lot of pressure from family and some friends to conform more to what you're supposed to be, to, you know, what society kind of expects you to be. And it took me until only a couple years ago to finally be like, no, screw that. I'm not happy doing that. I don't want to be that person.
Honey child, I'm from the South. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's still, I mean, I have family members that still just without fail will make snide comments about my hair. I've been told,
I get those too.
And I get, there are some tattoos I want to get that I've been planning for a while. You can't get tattoos, those are unprofessional, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, I mean, you know, having a nose stud is a problem. It's just like, really, but I'm happier now. So unfortunately, like, I wish I could say like, oh, this person inspired me to do this, but it's more that I have more of examples of what I didn't want to be. You know what I mean?
So basically,
and I don't want to call those people out on record on the podcast. Right. So
basically what you're saying is you took the bad and made something good from it by taking those bad examples and those expectations and accepting that that's what those people want from you, but that's not what you want for yourself.
Right. That's a very eloquent way to put it. Thank you.
Words, sometimes I'm good with them.
I'm rarely good with them, but if I am good with them ever, you guys hold on to that because it's never going to happen again.
I've got a perfect example for you about the hair thing. So you see, my hair is short. It's shaved. I had to shave it because I have psoriasis, like super bad in my head. So in order for the medicine to do its job, I had to shave it. At my aunt's funeral, I had a cousin come up to me and say, oh, did you get into a fight with the lawnmower? Talking about my hair. And I usually have dyed hair, but because it's short right now and the psoriasis, I haven't dyed it because, you know, skin problems. So I looked at him and I said, no, I had to cut it for health reasons. And the look on his face was he was like, oh.
That's always the best, though.
It was the best thing ever. Right? And he's like, I'm so sorry. I was like, yeah, I have really bad psoriasis, and I kind of had no choice but to cut my hair in order for the medicine to work. Because, like, of course, he went immediately to cancer. Because, you know, because shaved head, apparently people can only have a shaved head if they have cancer. I'm like, nope.
There's a possibility of me cutting my hair short for charity this year, actually. So, I mean, I don't have a reason for it, but I'm sure I'll catch crap for it.
You know what? It's kind of freeing to have really short hair. I've really liked it.
That's what I've heard. Oh, okay.
I even streamed it. Because I was like, all right, you know what? I got the balls right now to do it. Let's do it. So,
girl, you know you're my hair inspiration. We've had discussions on this. Some of y'all are Girlstreamers. It's just hair envy. So.
So I totally understand where you're coming from as far as that goes. And I think I think most women can really relate to that because, and I mean dudes too. Obviously, you have dudes who have to be, they're supposed to be masculine. They're supposed to
guys
not
aren't allowed
cry.
to cry. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I think people can totally relate and understand to that because society is supposed to be a specific thing, and no.
Yeah, I don't like being put into a box. So then I stream and put myself into my own little box in the corner of the screen while I'm streaming, and I'm happy in that box. But other boxes I don't want. So.
It's like, let me put myself in a box, but you don't do it.
A box of my own choosing. Thank you very much.
I'm in a glass case of emotion. Okay, all right. I had to throw in the Anchorman.
Of course.
Anchorman reference.
Yes.
Okay. So, what do you like about being a part of Girlstreamers?
I have been obsessed with the Girlstreamers community since I joined up. It was actually one of those things, like when I applied to Girlstreamers, I got so nervous, like, but what if I can't be in it? And then once I got in Girlstreamers, it was just, the community is so welcoming. Everybody is so freaking supportive of each other. It's just been amazing. I've met some really good streaming friends there, people I'm looking forward to hopefully eventually meet in person.
Yeah, I've met a few Girlstreamers actually.
Possibly a Dragon Con, maybe.
Are you coming to Dragon Con?
Yeah, that's the plan. So.
Oh my God, Zilla's gonna be there too.
Yay! So no, I'm
Dragon Con hype.
Yep. But yeah, Girlstreamers is just it was one of those things where it's always when you're starting out, when you're venturing out of the internet, it's always good to have a home base.
Yes.
And Girlstreamers is like a home base for me. It's like, if anything, I've just seen the support that has poured out from the girls for everybody, regardless of what's going on, like happy things and really, really, really difficult things. People have been able to go to the group and be with the Girlstreamers clan, and it's just been amazing to be a part of the group. So
I like that you said I like that analogy you used, that people need to have a home base, because especially in the streamer community, the streamer world, I mean, it's hard to do that on your own. Like, I mean, you have to network. You need a networking system. You need a networking setup. And it's basically digital networking is what you're doing when you're doing stuff like this. So yeah, you do. I like that analogy that you use, because it's a nice safe space for you to be able to come back to when you go out and venture out into the digital world, a little bit, and then you have that home to come back to be like, okay, I had a hard day today.
Well, then, like, I don't care. You could have the thickest skin on the internet, and someone someday will get under your skin, and it's fantastic to have a community you can go back to where they'll just kind of be like, no, you've got this. Don't let that bother you. You're awesome. You've got this. Keep going. You need that support.
It can make me cry.
Oh no, don't cry. But that's what Girlstreamers is, and so I love you guys. You guys said that.
We love you too. We love all our girls, and I'm saying we as the leadership. The leadership would not be the leadership without you guys. So, we love you guys. What keeps you passionate? What keeps you so passionate about gaming and just the community in general?
Just the people. I've met so many amazing people through streaming. It's one of those things that when you are a gamer or when you are a part of online communities, you have an understanding that other people because we all have family members and stuff like that don't really understand. So it's like you've never met that person, but you're calling them
a friend,
or like you saying they're like your best friend, but you've never even seen them in real life. And it's like you don't understand unless you're a part of it, like the connections you can make with people.
As someone who met her husband and dated him for like a year before actually meeting him, I totally understand that concept. Because my parents were very against it for a while. Yeah, they were very skeptical for a while. Then it turned out good. But sorry.
I have met some of the best friends I could ask for through gaming and through streaming and just through networking on Twitter and things like that.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been gaming, if I hadn't been streaming, I wouldn't have met them otherwise. And so it's one of those things I've become very thankful. Regardless of what happens, I have lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Now that I wouldn't have met if it weren't for gaming. So, yeah.
I agree with you on that. Yeah, I've got very good friends because of streaming. So very, very good friends. I hate to say it, but I think Carice, Dead, and Kinky are some of my closest friends right now. I hate myself. Why?
I thought that was going to go in a sweet direction. I was so wrong.
Why is Carice my friend? I'm just kidding. No, I love those girls.
Everybody's cringing.
I know. So much love. Shut up. All right.
Ew.
All right. We'll shut up and move on to the next question. What one book and one movie would you say describes you the best?
Describes me the best.
Yes.
Probably, it's kind of cliche, but book, probably Pride and Prejudice.
Good book.
For obvious reasons. I halfway identify with Jane and with Elizabeth, depending on how cynical I am that day.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I just see the good in everybody, just like Jane does, and then other days I'm like Elizabeth. I was just like, no. Everybody's awful and selfish and it's the worst. But I try to have more Jane days than Elizabeth days. And then as far as movies, I mean, I want to say Fifth Element, but that doesn't really make much sense, does it? Hair envy. Mia Jovovich. I want to be her. I want to be Leeloo Dallas. So my life aspiration is to be Leeloo Dallas. So we'll just go with that.
And to run into a Bruce Willis.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that at all.
I mean, he does make bald pretty sexy.
He does.
Says the woman married to a bald man. Hey, my bald man is sexy. I love him. So, what's your greatest challenge or obstacle that you have had to overcome in your life?
I have depression and anxiety. I've been dealing with depression and anxiety for as long as I can remember, and it comes and goes, so it's not always there. It's one of those things where it's like, goes from a handkerchief to like a giant duvet comforter that you're just lugging around with you.
Yeah.
And I even recently, for the most part throughout my life, I've just dealt with it on my own. I actually recently hit a point where I'm like, I can't keep just dealing with it on my own. I need help. And so I that's something that's been a huge obstacle, especially lately. And that's one of those things where it's ridiculously difficult to ask for help with that kind of stuff. And people are like, it's not just being sad. Like, there's so many other physiological things that go on with that, and it just becomes almost impossible to just verbalize that you need help, that you're struggling. And I managed to get through that this time, fortunately. It's gotten a lot better, but that's been a recurring thing that I've dealt with, but at least I understand it.
Yeah.
I do think that there are a lot of people in the gaming community that deal with the same issues. I do think that that's something that a lot of people end up bonding over, because there are so many of us that understand what that's like, and understands how difficult it is to get help.
It is.
Because you end up feeling very alone. And again, that's the reason why communities like Girlstreamers is so absolutely amazeballs, is if you feel like you're alone, then you have that family and they're there for you 100%. And so that's another reason why communities like that are so important to find your tribe, is that when you start to feel like you're alone, you have people that you can go to and people you can talk to. So that's why I would always recommend finding your tribe. Girlstreamers would love you. Would love to have you. But that's just, it's been a recurring thing that I've been dealing with. Actually, right now, if I may, over on Beam, and I think she just finished up, one of our girl streamers, Asika, just finished a 12-hour slot. They're doing a week-long charity event for the Association for Suicide Prevention.
Yes, I saw that on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's going on right now. And I mean, that's huge to me. I'm so excited that they're doing it. So
that's that hits really close to home for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was just recently diagnosed with depression
Mm-hmm.
and anxiety, and was put on some medication to help. I didn't think I needed the medication, but I went on it for a month, then was off it for a couple of months. So I was like, okay, I think I'm okay. I'm out of the holding facility, because I had gone in for attempted suicide. And then I realized, after being off of it for a few months, I was like, no, I do actually need it.
Right.
It does actually make a difference. And it's not like I'm on cloud nine. I still have those sad days, but
Sure.
it helps bring those really, really bad lows up to where you can handle them.
Yeah, no, the medication is supposed to be like wearing glasses to help you see. It's not, like, there's so many misconceptions about that kind of stuff that's the stuff I start to get really bothered by, is that people don't understand. Like, I've had family members that are like, well, I've been sad before. And it's like, no, you don't understand. It's not just being super sad. It's not just having a hard time. It's not things like that. But there's a lot of us that do understand, even if we can't say, like, we know exactly what you're going through, because that's always one of those things that's so annoying. It's like, oh, I know exactly what that's like. It's like, but you don't, because this is my experience.
Because everybody's
experience
how hard is different. Yeah. But you can empathize more with someone who is going through it than someone who hasn't. Because my dad actually recently came to the realization at 56 years old that he's basically been self-medicating his entire life. His depression and his anxiety and his mental stuff, because he grew up in a very abusive home. So he's been self-medicating for a very long time. I have a slight emergency to go deal with really quick.
On that note.
Yeah, I hate to end this because this conversation has been really good. I'm just going to put up the BRB. I will be right back.
Sure.
And then I'll mute the audio for a little bit. And sorry, I will be back as soon as I can.
Yeah, no worries. Oh man. Okay. Sorry. The because of the delay, I just saw my face super close up. Okay.
So I don't want to harp on this or anything, but a lot of the last podcast, Aaliyah also spoke on this very subject, which I find interesting that so many of us ladies, gamers, I mean, not just female gamers, but gamers, a lot of streamers actually suffer from depression and anxiety, and a lot of their therapy basically is what caused them to become streamers, basically, because they went to games as kind of a release, an outlet to help them cope. They used it as a coping skill. Would you say that's kind of part of the reason why you are still a gamer?
I hadn't really thought about it that way, to be honest. I don't know if that's the reason why I'm still a gamer. I do understand, because I do get social anxiety sometimes, and so you get that added layer between you and a person when you're gaming with them. Yeah. Where if you're meeting someone face to face, my anxiety can go through the roof. But if I meet you in a game, I could chat with you all day. Right. You know what I mean? And have no issues with it. And so I think that especially on the anxiety spectrum, I can completely understand why I enjoy socializing and gaming so much. But as far as the depression, I did mention, I think, that already that I'm a filthy casual. So it's one of those things that
yes.
I don't necessarily play games because they give me a sense of accomplishment, because a lot of times I'm kind of a potato when it comes to the games, and I don't get very far. But
there's nothing wrong with being a potato. Just gonna put that
potatoes, but I am potatoes. I'm a potato gamer.
Potatoes are delicious.
But it is a nice escape, because you have that fantasy world you're escaping into. So depending on the game you're playing, you know, like if you're playing something like WoW or even Contrast, which doesn't have the happiest of stories, but it's still an escape. I do see the value in that.
Even those sad games that make you cry, because like The Walking Dead, you kind of tear up at the end. Well, I'm not going to spoil it for people.
Yep. It's so good.
It is. It's so good, and sometimes you gotta cry to get that outlet, you know. And even those sad games are games that really help with that release. Yeah, I have found it very interesting that the older I get, the more aware of myself I am, of like, especially my mental abilities. Like, you know, I've basically dealt with depression my entire life, and it's not because I had a horrible, depressing childhood. I had, you know, a fairly good childhood. I had a mother that was a little oppressive, but who can honestly say that their mother is their best friend? Very few people can say their mother is their best friend. Most girls struggle with their mothers because mothers, you know, parents have a specific thing they want for their kids. I mean, you're a parent. You want the best for your kids. So it's a little, I was a pageant baby. So, I mean, that should tell you. Yeah.
That might just be a Southern thing, though.
Yeah, I was a pageant baby, and my mom was really sad when I decided I didn't want to do them anymore because apparently I was a winner. You couldn't tell it now because I'm a fat ass, but
anyway. Whatever. You're a winner in my book.
I'm gorgeous. I know.
Yeah.
So gorgeous. But anyway, yeah. I mean, looking back, it's like, okay, I see that sign. I see that sign. I see that sign, and I think the studies show that most of your mental stuff doesn't actually start showing about mid to late 20s and early 30s. So that's usually when people are diagnosed with their stuff, because that's when your brain chemicals, everything finally starts leveling out. So, and I think you're about my age. I think we're close in age.
I think so, yeah.
I'll be 32 in 2 months.
Oh, yeah, I'm 31.
Oh, man. Anyway, but yeah, so I empathize with you on that particular subject. So all right, we're going to move to a little bit more serious.
More serious than that. Okay.
More serious than that, because this is one of those questions that really makes you have to reflect upon yourself. And everybody hates this question, but I love it because I get really good answers. What trait of yours are you most proud of, and what is your greatest insecurity? And this is not my question. This is one of the girls sent me this question, and I was like, oh man, that's beautiful. I'm going to start using this.
Well, now I'm forgetting your wording, but the thing I'm most proud of, my biggest strength, I think, is that I care to a fault.
I care too much, man.
Well, I mean, that sounds like such a cliche, but I empathize with a lot of people. It's one of those things that that is actually a quality I've noticed in a lot of people who do suffer from depression. Actually, is that they feel what others feel. Like they end up identifying so much with what somebody else is going through that they start feeling it themselves. And there's empathy is a good thing to a point.
Yeah.
But I it's one of those things that I don't want to lose about myself. Like, you can end up becoming more hardened and more callous, and it's a protective measure to do that, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
I like that I care about others, and I like that I care enough to try to empathize and things like that. And so I don't want to lose that, regardless of whether or not that hurts.
I think a lot of it is because you don't, at least for me, I don't want to see somebody else go through the shit I've gone through.
Right.
And I think that's why a lot of people who have suffered from depression or borderline personality disorder or bipolar or anything like that, they tend to be drawn to those, like, they tend to be drawn towards like social work and stuff like that and dealing with people and helping people because they don't want to see that happen to somebody else.
Right.
They don't want other people to feel alone.
Right.
So I can totally understand. I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, but I can totally see that as being a strength for you.
Yeah. I over in Beam especially, I've earned the nickname Mama Scar, and I feel like it's actually pretty damn accurate. So, like, don't worry, Mama Scar's got you.
Oh, that's awesome. So what would you say is your greatest insecurity then?
I've never been diagnosed with it, but I'm fairly confident I actually have body dysmorphia to some degree. And I do have a lot of scars on my body from pregnancies and from surgeries and things like that. And so honestly, my biggest insecurities are physical. Like I'll look in the mirror and I look different from 1 minute to the next. And then on top of that with the scars. So it gets really hard sometimes to have any amount of self-esteem. That coupled with anxiety and depression is a really fun cocktail, let me tell you. But
is body dysmorphia similar to dysphoria, or are they two different things?
They're different. Dysphoria, okay. I want to say dysphoria is the one where is dysphoria the one that's related to not being like thinking, like if you're you feel like a man trapped in a woman's body. I think that's what dysphoria is.
Well, there's gender dysphoria,
yes.
which is what most transgender
right.
People. I don't know the exact phrasing right now. I'm sorry. Please forgive me to my awesome trans people.
It's hard to be sensitive about that kind of stuff when you're not sure on the terms. So my apologies as well.
But I think that is, I know for a fact that gender dysphoria is what transgender people are, the trans community is diagnosed with.
Dysmorphia, I've always the best way for me to explain it is that it's less about, because the dysphoria, I feel like it's more about your physical comfort in your body, like you feel like you're in the wrong body.
Yeah.
Where dysmorphia is how you see yourself.
Okay, I gotcha.
And so there's a bit of a difference.
That makes sense. Okay, yeah.
Where it's like, I very much feel like I'm in my body. It's just how I see my body.
Yeah.
It changes regularly. And sometimes very rarely, I have good days where I look in the mirror and I'm like, hey girl, what's up? And then most of the time though, I look and go, I can just see everything that's wrong with my body and everything that's wrong with my face. And then, my mind will exaggerate what I see as flaws. Yeah. And so like I can look in the mirror and look away and look back. And to me, I look completely different in the mirror, which that's one of the advantages of my hair is that's like, nope, I know that's me in that picture because bright red hair, that's me.
That's very interesting. I don't have that extreme. I mean, like, although I'm becoming more confident and like the way I look more and more and more. But yeah, I've never suffered that bad, and part of it's probably because of the pageants growing up. Mm-hmm. I mean, as horrible as it is, because I mean, I'm totally overweight, but like I look at myself and I'm like, I'm not that ugly. I'm pretty good. So
I mean, I know I'm not unfortunate looking.
Yeah,
but it's just like how I see myself will change. I wasn't saying all of that. Like, I'm not trying to fish for compliments or something.
No, I love the way you said that, though.
Yeah. That's just my reality. And so there are advantages to that. Like, I don't put a lot of stock in physical appearances because of it, and I really never have. What I find attractive about people are their minds and their personalities versus their looks, and that's been the case since hormones kicked in, just because what I see in the mirror changes regularly. So like I think I see people as more attractive when they have an attractive personality or an attractive mind versus, if they don't have an attractive personality or an attractive mind, but they're conventionally pretty. I think I see them differently than just, what you would see in a magazine page, because that's not what I put stock in as far as what makes someone attractive. So
even though that's an insecurity, it could still be a strength in a way.
I mean, I try to think of it that way, but it definitely makes it really difficult to get ready to go anywhere because I think I look awful in half my closet. Yeah,
that's got to be rough. Mm-hmm. That's rough right there. I mean,
Eventually I just give up and was like, I have a black dress, I'll wear it.
Black, it's slimming, it goes with everything.
Exactly.
There you go.
Black like my heart.
Have you ever been trolled?
Oh my God, who hasn't? Actually, seriously, if anybody hasn't, I envy you. And I just tell me your ways. Teach me, sensei. Of course I've gotten trolled. In fact, I got trolled yesterday when I was streaming. Somebody called me ugly. And they kept saying that they were a horny moose, but that I was too ugly for them. And then, but they kept but then I had to be like, well, that's all right because I'm not interested in anyone who can't spell moose. So you're good. Because they kept leaving the E off at the end. They're spelling moose like moose. So it was just like, really?
Oh my God, that's so great.
No, the very first time I got a troll comment on YouTube, I actually took a screenshot of it and saved it. And it was just, I still have it on my computer. I thought it was great, but it was just ill, fat. And so I screenshot it and I saved it.
That is great.
It's I have some friends that mod on my channel now that are really great. Sometimes I have to tell them to cool it because sometimes they just bring the hammer down real quick. But it's just like, you're gonna get trolls. It's sometimes depending on the day, it gets hard to deal with them. It does for all of us. But like for the most part, it's like they're just trying to get attention. So you can ignore them or you can just make fun of them back. Just handle it however you feel most comfortable. But I don't know a single person that hasn't gotten a troll comment.
We literally just got trolled earlier in the chat. Someone asked to see our boobies, and I totally banned him. Like
one time on Twitch, I got offered $100 to show my nipples. I didn't take him up on it because I would like to think that I deserve more money than that. But yeah, that was fun.
I don't know. My nipples are pretty good. I should get more than $100. You know,
right? I thought they lowballed me a little bit there, so I was just like, no thanks.
You know, if you're not getting trolled, I mean, if you're not getting trolled, awesome on you. But if you are getting trolled, look at it as you're doing something good because you obviously
you're in good company.
You obviously got their attention to get them to come troll you. So if you got their attention, that means you're going to get other people's attention that aren't going to aren't going to troll you. So, you know, jumping off of that, what advice would you have for anybody getting into streaming?
My best advice so far for people is like, if you're thinking about streaming, start streaming. It's so easy to put off streaming. Like, well, I don't have a webcam. I don't have the best computer. I don't have a capture card. And it's like, you know what, start with what you have and then just have fun with it. All of us have started somewhere. I do know that there are people that start out with all the equipment in the world and a green screen and all professional lighting, and they've got every single up to the minute system and, you know, 4K TV and like just all that kind of, or monitor and whatever. And you know what? I started streaming and doing YouTube on a completely potato laptop that actually doesn't even work anymore. It finally died a slow and painful death. Rest in peace, laptop. And a travel mic, which actually I have here. I mean, you can't see it, you can't hear it on the podcast, but people that are watching now can see it. But started with this
so cute
mic.
And little.
Yeah, this is what I started with, this and a laptop. And actually, over on the subreddit for Let's Plays, which that would be my other piece of advice. Don't let me forget that part. But they do a weekly contest for the best Let's Plays of the week, and I actually won one week, and I got complimented on my sounds, on my audio quality. And it's like, I didn't have the most high-tech mic. I ordered a travel mic from Samsung, or was it Samson, that is usually on sale for $35 on Amazon. So like you don't need the most high-tech stuff to start. Don't wait to start because you think that you aren't ready. All of us started, all of us were awkward when we started because streaming is a skill.
Mm-hmm. It is. I think a lot of people, nobody thinks about that, but streaming is a skill, and it's something that you have to learn and you have to hone it.
Right.
And you have to practice.
If you're thinking of streaming, start streaming. And then the other one is start networking. That would be my second piece of advice, is start networking, not in the sense of trying to get ahead, because I know that there's a negative connotation to networking. What I mean by networking is get involved in a community, find your tribe, get involved, make friends, help each other. that's the kind of networking you want, because that's the meaningful networking. And that's what makes it worthwhile, because most of us don't have ridiculous growth. Most of us don't do, like, oh my God, suddenly 4 months later and I'm partnered on Twitch and I'm famous now and I'm doing this for a living. It's, you do it as a hobby starting out. You do it for fun. You do it to make friends. You do that kind of stuff. And that's what makes it worthwhile. So that would be my other piece of advice, is network, but network for the right reasons.
I interviewed Indy Garona at the beginning of the year. She was our first podcast coming back from the winter break, from the Christmas break and stuff. And she's partnered with Twitch, but one of the things, we were talking about how she got partnered and stuff, and she said she got partnered when Tally, who, if you're a WoW gamer and you stream, Tally, big WoW person, that's what he streams. Really awesome. Really awesome streamer. If you're a WoW person and you don't know Tally, I highly recommend going and checking him out. His streams are really awesome. But Tally is, and Indy Garona and a bunch of others got partnered because Twitch was doing the partner thing. They're basically doing it in beta. So they got asked because they had built their community up. It was back when it was just in TV still,
right.
And they were like, we're doing this program. Would you like to be a part of it? And that's when they got partnered, because they knew some people, because they knew people who worked at Twitch. Right. And that's the only reason. I mean, I'm sure, well, I don't know. See, I don't know if Tally would have gotten partnered if he started now. But, I mean, they had streamed for years before they had gotten partnered. And it's because they knew people who worked at Twitch, because they had been streaming for so long. Right. So, that's how you get partnered if you want to get partnered on Twitch. Now they have or, with Beam, you want to, it's who you know. There
really is a big factor to it, but if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you're not gonna have the heart to keep streaming for very long. You have to find a good reason to stream. You have to either love your community, or you have to just love streaming, or you have to have, if you make friends that all stream and that's what you guys do together, all those kinds of things. Those to me are better reasons than I want to be a famous streamer, because if that's why you're starting, you're not gonna have enough fuel to keep going.
Very rarely will you come in and become a streamer, become famous, because but very rarely will you be partnered and be able to make a living out of it. Right. I interviewed Gillyweed. She was one of our podcasts. I got to interview Gillyweed. So, and she's, the Heroes. She's a Heroes of the Storm caster. And the way she got her casting job is by streaming. Right. And that was her sole purpose for streaming. She had no other purpose for streaming other than to practice Heroes casting, play Heroes, practice Heroes, and network. And that is literally, that's how she got partnered. That's how she got her job. That's how she got what she wanted, because she had a goal. She had a goal in mind, but her goal in mind was not to be a streamer. It was to be something else. Right. And she used streaming as a way to get there, which I think is a really cool. It's a really cool
there's
story.
Definitely value in that.
So I agree with you on that. Don't get into streaming just to be quote unquote famous. Right. 'Cause it ain't gonna happen.
Well, even if you had amazing growth starting out, then you're gonna have a slow week. And then what? What's gonna keep you going? What's gonna keep you interested? What's gonna keep your fire burning? That's gonna make you want to keep coming back for yet another 4 hours of streaming to your platform. You need something else there to keep you going. And so just be like, I want to be famous, or I want to be like Markiplier, I want to be like PewDiePie. It's like, okay, that's great, but be more specific.
Yeah, agreed. So you're talking about your scars and tattoos and piercings and stuff earlier. So tell us about all of those scars, tattoos, and piercings.
Okay. So I do have a lot of scars on my abdomen. A lot of them are stretch marks from especially my first pregnancy. I have 2 children. When I was 21, you know that the warning they give you about birth control about how you can get blood clots?
Yes.
Yeah, I got blood clots.
Oh, no.
I got pulmonary embolisms, which if you don't know the medical terms, that means I got blood clots lodged into my lungs. So I was hospitalized for about 8 days. And so then after that, when I was pregnant, I had to take blood thinners. I was required by my doctors to take blood thinners. And I have a feeling that that's what caused all my stretch marks, is that my skin with my blood thinned out couldn't heal properly.
Yeah. Jesus.
So I have a lot of them, and I'm incredibly self-conscious. I'm as far as like size and like physical fitness and stuff like that, I'm pretty proud of where I'm at right now. But like I could be, you know, American Ninja Warrior level fitness, and I'm still going to be incredibly self-conscious about the number of scars I have on my stomach. I also have my belly button's now messed up because I had to get my gallbladder removed.
Oh, been there.
And they did the what do they call it? The Da Vinci machine, which basically, sorry if this grosses anyone out. I'm sorry, but
Ooh, I'm ready to hear this.
They open up, they put an expander where your belly button is.
Mm-hmm.
So they open up a hole large enough for the Da Vinci machine to go in through the hole where your belly button was.
Yes.
And that's how they got my gallbladder out, and then they sewed it up. So now I have a belly button that is like an upside down, it's like boomerang shape, and then there's like a seam that runs underneath it. And then the worst part is that part of the way it heals is there's like a little fold on one side. So it's not even just like a straight line. There's it's just this little, I hate it. So a lot of insecurities about my stomach. But that's actually, I have one tattoo on my hip. My sister, sorry if this part runs a bit long. I can talk at length about a lot of this stuff. But my sister, when we were in college, wanted to get matching tattoos, but she wanted us to get them on her hips. And hers ended up really close down to her business. Mm-hmm. And she wanted to get a cross there. And so I talked her out of it because I thought that that was an odd placement for a cross. So I talked her into doing clovers because I'm like 50% Irish, and the Irish heritage is a big thing with my family. So we both got matching clovers. Well, when I got pregnant with my daughter, a stretch mark went right through the middle of it. So now instead of clover, I have broccoli on my hip.
Oh, no.
It's split right down the middle. Yeah. So eventually I might get it covered. I'm not sure. But now it looks like broccoli. So if my kids ever see it, it'll be like, yeah, you know, that's why you got to eat your veggies. And then, but I do have 3 tattoos I'm planning. One, I want to get on my left forearm, I want to get the Velveteen Rabbit. Do you know that children's story?
Yes.
And anybody listening, like if you know the story of that, like how do you become real?
Yeah.
And so things, by the time you become real, your fur's been loved off and your eyes have been loved out. But, you know, by the time you become real, you're beautiful. And you're beautiful to anybody that understands. And so I want to get the Velveteen Rabbit, but casting the shadow of a real rabbit. Yeah. And I just want to get on my forearm where I can see it. So it's kind of a reminder for me.
I love that. That's beautiful.
And then because of the scars on my stomach, and my insecurities about them, I want to get a tattoo where, you know, like if broken glass, holes in broken glass, like where a ball goes through. Mm-hmm. I want to get a couple spots like that, but through the holes, I want there to be space with like nebula clouds and stars and things like that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, my insecurities are very physical, but there's more to me than just my outer shell. And so, you know, I'm bigger on the inside. To quote Amanda Palmer.
You need to get a TARDIS.
Ooh, maybe. I'll think about it. But that's what another one I want to get.
Bigger on the inside.
Yes. And then the last one I'm planning right now, I'm not sure which symbol I want to get, but I want to get it square between my shoulder blades. And if anybody has watched the anime or read the manga for Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay, I've heard of it, but I haven't read it or watched it yet.
All right, I haven't decided. There's creatures in it called homunculi, the homunculus, that they have a specific mark, and I'm either going to get that, because with the depression and anxiety, sometimes I do feel a bit like a monster, and so it means something to me. And then there's another thing in there where souls can be bound to objects with a blood seal. And so I might get the blood seal instead. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to get that between my shoulder blades.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
And then the blood seal one, I'm not sure, because if you actually do it accurately, it kind of end up looking pretty gruesome, and I'm not sure I necessarily want that in the middle of my back.
Well, like, you wouldn't have to
back? You have something smeared on your back. And then piercings. I have my nose pierced, and I have one of my twins pierced. So I'm not sure. Well, whatever. I have a nipple pierced. Just
Whoa.
one. Yeah. And then sorry, I don't know if that it wasn't that. I mean, yeah, it hurt, but it wasn't that bad.
I'm sitting here holding my breast right now because I just
To me, especially when I did get it, that was my little act of rebellion. That was still professionally appropriate because it's under my clothes. And so I've just always loved that one because it's like that was my little act of rebellion when I was in college. But I do have my nose pierced, and then I do want to get I want to get quite a few piercings in my ears, but I think I want to start with the innermost ridge, like right at the front of your ear.
Oh yeah. I want one of those. I can't think of what it's called.
Right above it, I also want to get studs with my children's birthstones on either side. I want to start
that'd be cute.
Like that. So that's what I have planned right now.
That's
I
cool.
think that's it. A lot of plans.
I like it. I love it. I love tattoos. So you don't have any tattoos yet, but you will be getting at least one of those soon.
Well, I have the one from college that got messed up.
Oh, that's right. The one.
That one might get covered up by my space tattoo idea. If I can. If I can finagle covering that one, I will, because it looks so stupid. Broccoli on my hip. But
once you get one tattoo, man, once you get one tattoo, you can't stop. They're awesome.
I hear they're addictive, but since I already have 3 plans in the work, I think I'm good for a little while. I'm
ready to go get my next tattoo, which I know is going to cost a little bit, but I'm super excited about it. But what if there was one person, past or present, that you could have dinner with tonight? Who would it be and why?
I mean, I would say Nathan Fillion because he's beautiful, but
oh, he is pretty.
Yeah.
He's funny too.
One person, Queen Elizabeth, current one.
Oh, she'd be a cool person to talk to.
I just think she would just be amazing. How, cause like she's so proper, she has to be, but I just feel like she is so full of sass. I think she'd be amazing to have dinner with. Not even dinner. I would want to have tea, like afternoon tea with Queen Elizabeth, absolutely. And I'm gonna wear a fun hat.
Yes,
with a fancy millinery hat.
Yeah.
So that's who I would want to have a meal with. I'd want to sit down and have tea with Queen Elizabeth. And just kind of hang out.
I have one more question, and then we'll do a quick Q&A from the audience, and then we will close this out. So, what is your strongest passion outside of streaming?
I don't get a lot of time to do it, but well, see, I have 2, so now I have to pick.
No, you can tell me both.
Okay. What I don't really, I haven't allocated enough time to really do either. The first one's cosplay.
I love
doing cosplay, and I'm trying to plan like a full suit cosplay. I had a bad experience a couple years ago. Like the only time I was alone at a con, and I got kind of ambushed by a group of young men, and after that I didn't really feel comfortable dressing as female characters.
Yeah.
So like the last con I dressed as Uta from Tokyo Ghoul.
Okay.
Which is a male character, but he's really freaky and he's got sclera contacts, and I had so much fun with that. This year I'm thinking of either dressing as the villain from another indie game, which I highly, highly recommend, called Camp Sunshine, which is amazing. But the villain is the camp mascot Sunshine Bear.
Okay.
Which, if you ever play the game, you'll hear the voice acting for the bear, and it is the best horror game voice acting I have ever heard. Is this character, and so that I've actually spoken to those game devs too, because they liked my playthrough, and they told me if I made the cosplay, they would send me the MP3s for the character, so I can bring it up where I'd say it. So I'm really excited. I really want to do a cosplay.
You got to do that for Dragon Con.
Yeah, that's really what I do. And if I can't pull that one off, I'm thinking I might do Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas because I've never seen that done well. I've never seen it done, period. But I just think that would be amazing.
There was a really good Oogie Boogie last year at Dragon Con, actually.
I didn't see it. Okay, well then no, I have to do Camp Sunshine Bear.
I've seen a couple. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a Girlstreamer Dragon Con meetup. So for all the ladies and fans that are around, I will have to since I'm here in Atlanta, I will be the person to set that up so we can have a proper Girlstreamer meetup. Because I was running around last year in my Girlstreamer shirt, handing out business cards, networking, meeting people. Because, I mean, there are some game people at Dragon Con. Granted, it is mostly for cosplay. But, I will be doing Poison Ivy again this year.
Nice.
And I am making a new one. I'm going to be Princess Leonis from Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got the wig, and it's so awesome. I'm so excited. So we have...
sorry, real quick. And then my other one is writing. I have a book that's like 2/3 finished, but I'm my own worst critic. So
I'm sorry. I totally interrupted you.
No, it's fine, because we got excited about cosplay and about Dragon Con, so it's fine.
Yes.
But remember how I said I was afraid of zombies?
Yes.
I wrote a book about zombie apocalypse, but it takes place in the 1950s golden era.
Nice.
Yeah. But it's like 2/3 done. I need to finish it.
Oh, yeah. I want to read that. That sounds awesome.
But my own worst critic, so I just can't bring myself to finish it because, self-criticisms are the worst, guys. Build yourselves up. Don't do what I do. Do as I say, not as I do. So.
Hey, you've been really awesome. You need to stop beating yourself up. This has been a lot of fun. So Q&A is open for a little bit for people. So you people need to give me questions. I've been warning you in chat to give me questions, and nobody has given me any questions yet. So if you don't give me questions... Okay. Silky asked, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Easily Japan. I don't have a specific place. I'd have to set aside at least a month, maybe 2, and just travel all over Japan. It's a bucket list item, actually. For me and my husband, we both want to go to Japan and just see everything. I need to go to like all the pop-up cafes. I need to go to a hot spring. I need to do the whole...
Oh, I want to do a hot spring. Yeah. Yes.
But I also identify as a weeb. So like I need to do the whole Japan experience, all of it. Anything you've seen online where it's like, that'd be cool to do in Japan, I've added it to my list. So that'll be a long trip, but that's absolutely where I'd go.
Nice. What? Oh, I lost my question. Crap. Oh, Pascal Fairchild asked, what Final Fantasy server do you play on? Hello from Marlboro. So
hi.
I don't know if you want to give that server your server.
No, that's fine. And actually, there's a lot of theme streamers that are all playing on the same server, so I'm really excited. I play on Cactuar.
Okay.
That's where you can find me. And my character is actually Madame Derpington. That's me. I thought that was the most accurate name possible. But that's who I am on the server, so you'll be seeing me there more and more in the coming months. Yep.
Nice. Walker McLeod says pizza or taco?
Oh, why can't I just have taco pizzas? Oh. I saw that online. I saw a video of that. They're a thing.
Pizza tacos. Ooh.
Yeah.
¿Por qué no los dos?
It's pizza tacos, taco pizzas. Yep.
She's not here, but so I'll ask it for her. So Paragon Trouble usually asks this question. What video game world would you like to live in? I'm trying to remember how she words it. What video game world? Okay, what video game world, what movie world, or what book world would you like to live in? What would be your occupation, and where would you live in that world?
Wait, do I have to just pick one, or is this like a three-parter?
Um, whatever, however you want to answer it.
Okay. I would want to live in the Final Fantasy realm,
Okay.
very much so. But I think that I would be a crafter. I would probably have been a goldsmith, working my way up as a goldsmith in the goldsmithing guild.
Cool.
That's probably what I would have done. I wouldn't have been an adventurer because I'm kind of a scaredy cat. So I wouldn't be the adventurer that you play as for most of the game. I would leave that to my husband, and then I would just be trying to be the best crafter. I would actually be a goldsmith, or I'd just be a full-on armorer and be just like a complete badass making armor for people. One of those.
As a cosplayer, you could be armorist. There
Exactly.
you go.
So I would do that as far as a game. Although Ocarina of Time was a close second, because I would want to live in the oh my god, why am I blanking on the original village he lives in? With all the
the forest.
The forest folk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would live there.
I don't remember the name of that village
They're
either.
kids for forever though. That's so nice. Movie Fifth Element, just because I love that movie so much, and flying cars and stuff like that, because of course. But I'd probably end up working at the McDonald's there. Or a flight attendant. Flight attendant seemed like they had a good deal, so that wouldn't be so bad. And then a book. Oh goodness. I would be the Dresden Files series. I would hopefully be a wizard.
Okay.
In the Dresden Files series, which if you know anything about Harry Dresden or Dresden Files, it takes place in the modern world. It's just there's a lot of overlap with mythology and magic and things like that. So it's current world. I would just want to be a magic user.
He is very little. I know very little bit about the Dresden universe. So yeah, that's cool. Silky asks, favorite book or series of novel.
I mean, I have huge nostalgia for Harry Potter, for obvious reasons. I love Harry Potter. I dress as Professor Umbridge for Halloween. But
what?
Yeah. And then
that's the name of my demon hunter.
Nice.
All of my animals have Harry Potter names. I don't know if you heard me say Tonks earlier to my dog.
I didn't.
Yeah. Tonks
Nice.
and Remus are my dog's names. So
Nice. But no, I'm hugely nostalgic, and I absolutely love everything Harry Potter. And I don't think I'll ever get over that obsession. But that's also why I love the Harry Dresden series so much, is that it's kind of like Harry Potter for grown-ups.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
If you say Harry Potter for grown-ups, I'll go check it out now.
Yeah, but the fact is, it's like very noir styled too, so it's very adult.
Yeah,
I've heard. Cool. And the fact that his name is Harry is coincidental, because he's named after 3 famous magicians. So it's not it's not like, oh, Harry Potter, I'm going to name him Harry. There's a point to it in the books, but that's also why I really love the Harry Dresden series.
That's cool. All right, I'll have to check it out then. I like this question from Blaker Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite Nathan Fillion movie?
Movie? I mean,
or favorite Nathan Fillion role. Oh, she said she meant role. She meant favorite Nathan Fillion role.
I was going to say, because it's like, I mean, really the only movie because I haven't seen Serenity. I never saw Serenity. Don't kill me, guys.
Really? It's really good.
I know. I've never seen, like, I love the Firefly episodes I've seen too, but I can't say I've seen every Firefly episode either. I love him as Castle. I thought he was so good as Castle.
I actually never watched that series. My best friend, God rest her soul, loved Castle. Like, she was obsessed with Castle because she loved Nathan Fillion.
Right.
And she stayed up to date on all of the Castle series. She loved it.
Because other than that, like, I know Nathan Fillion was in, like, Saving Private Ryan, and then he was in, like, White Noise too. I don't know what other movies he's really been in. But Castle, he's really good at that role. I feel like that's who he'd be in real life, though. Like, I don't think he really had to, like, step outside of his comfort zone to play his Castle, yeah.
Dr. Horrible Sing-Along Blog.
Oh, yeah, he was Captain Hammer, wasn't he?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's right, I forgot about that one.
He was the quote unquote good guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Orange Beanie. All right, we're gonna wrap this up soon. So, Orange Beanie, if you were a flower or fruit, what would you be?
I'd be a Scarberry, of course. No. I think I would be a carnation. I like carnations. Like they're like they're considered simpler flowers, but like I just really like them. I think they're so pretty.
Sometimes simple is the prettiest.
Yeah, and then they can be all sorts of different colors, which so can I. So
fabulous hair. All right, one more question. Walker McLeod asks, Harry Potter, Star Wars, or Lord of the Rings, which one's your favorite series? Personally, I say all three. I mean, because they're three completely different stories.
Mm.
Even though they're in the fantasy genre.
I can rank them.
Okay.
Can I do that? All right, third for me would be Lord of the Rings. It pains me to say it, but a close second is probably Star Wars, and then Harry Potter would be first.
All right, there you go. See, Harry Potter definitely won. Everything else is after that for me. Mm-hmm. Honest to God. Like, I like everything. Like, I would not be able, because we have so much Star Wars memorabilia around here. Like, my husband is a massive Star Wars fan. So, like, we have the poster of Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. Before they changed it, it's the movie poster that says Revenge of the Jedi with the release date.
That's awesome.
Which is a very rare poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My husband is a massive Star Wars fan.
I love Star Wars and I love Harry Potter, but just the fact that I kind of consider myself, this sounds so elitist, but I consider myself kind of a Star Wars purist. Like, episodes 1 through 3, just no. I still haven't even seen episode 2. I refuse.
It's episode 2. So. Out of this prequel, episode 2 is literally the worst one.
Yeah, I refuse to see it. So, but all of the Harry Potter stuff I've watched so many times, so I have to rank that number 1 because I love Harry Potter. I just
recently started rewatching the Harry Potter series.
Nice.
And I usually reread them every summer, so that's coming up. Oh, did you watch Fantastic Beast? Did you go see that?
I didn't. Okay, I never get to go to see movies anymore, so I haven't gotten to see them.
Okay.
But once they show on the ABC Family or whatever they call it nowadays, I will
when it comes
schedule
out,
out and sit and watch them.
It should be coming out on DVD soon, if it's not already. I don't think it's out yet. I highly recommend it. It is very, very good.
That's what I've only heard good things. I just didn't make it to the movie theater while it was still in. So it's like nothing against the movies. I wanted to see it so bad, I just didn't get to go. So.
And it's going to be a series thing. It's going to be 3. Mm-hmm. So they're going to have 2 more movies. And I really like it because you're exploring the wizarding world from a different perspective. And I really, really, really like that. So I'm hoping we'll visit the American... I'm hoping at some point we'll visit the American... version of Hogwarts, the American Wizarding School, which
the internet named that pig farts. What's it actually called? Did they actually establish? I don't remember.
It's like God, Ivern. I cannot say it. It's an Irish name.
I just love. There's a picture on the internet of what's his face that played as Malfoy holding up a picture of like take me to pig farts, and that exists on the internet. And it's one of my favorite things.
No, I read about it on on Pottermore the other day because I went to retake all my stuff because I was like, all right, I want to see like if I've changed because I'm usually in Hufflepuff. Apparently, I'm Gryffindor now.
I was Hufflepuff in the beta, and then when I redid it, I was Ravenclaw. So I'm a Huffleclaw.
I think I'm a Huffledore. But thank you, Orange Beanie, Ivorn Marie or something like that. Ilvermorny. Yeah.
Okay.
I recommend go read the story because it's a nice short story that she wrote for Pottermore, and I just read it the other day, and it is a really good story. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
So
I mean that's the advantage to the Star Wars fandom is that there's so much to the fandom.
yes.
The universe for Star Wars is so large. So the fact that they're expanding the Harry Potter universe is really exciting.
Yes, I agree. I like that because I liked Rogue One for. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it was because I mean, I hate that they had her end up with the dude, even though they both. Spoiler
Right.
alert: they die. If you haven't seen it, sorry, I just spoiled it for you. I
You were
hate
warned.
that, you know, I hate that, like, at the end, they're like, here, we're going to put you together with the man. And it's like, it's a strong female lead. Why does she have to end up with the man,
Right.
even if she dies? You don't
Right.
always have to do that. So
Yeah.
that's the one thing that bugged me about Rogue One.
Right.
It's like, come on, just let her die a badass.
Right. They had a
Uh,
softener because females, of course.
Ilvermorny. Thank you, Zilla. So, all right, we got to wrap this up. So,
Okay.
where and when can we find you streaming?
On Twitch, the most guaranteed way to find me streaming, I stream every Tuesday night from 11 p.m. Eastern time to 1 in the morning on the channel Extra Life for Kids, for number 4. That's every Tuesday. It's a team that I'm very proud to be a part of, so I do that every Tuesday. And then I also help in the Saturday slot for my friend Dog Daytona. He streams Saturday from 9 to 11. And that's not necessarily every week, but I have the past few weeks. But that's the easiest way to find me on Twitch now. Other than that, my schedule is more sparse. But I am on Beam as Scarberry, where on Twitch I'm the Scarberry. On Beam I am Scarberry. And my schedule's over there. But I stream Mondays and Wednesday nights, definitely from 9 o'clock on. And then I try to stream Sundays during the day and Saturdays if I can help it, but I can't always because, weekends get crazy.
Right.
And then I'm trying to stream Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. But Mondays and Wednesday nights and then Sundays during the day, I am on Beam. My channel name there is Scarberry, so I'm easy to find. But I've been having a blast over there. And on Beam, I am going to be applying for partner. So if you guys are willing, I would really appreciate people stopping by and supporting during those streams because the more my numbers are up, the better a chance I have.
Yep.
Toot my own horn. So obviously don't feel too much pressure to do that, but if you do come over there, I love you forever. Thank you. So
thank you so very much for joining me tonight. This has been a Girlstreamer podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Girlstreamers is partnered with Loot Crate, Fresh Designs, Punk's Paracord, Simple Jerky, UN Racing Chairs, and GlamTom. Links to all these amazing partners are down below, so please feel free to click. Thanks, guys, for all your support. Please follow us at Girlstreamers on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Instagram. If you have any questions or would like more information, you can visit our website at girlstreamers.com and contact us through there. You can donate to Girlstreamers via GameWift and buy some super cool gear in our online shop at designbyhumans.com/shop/Girlstreamers. You can find Scarberry on Twitter at TheScarberry, TheScarberry, and Twitch at twitch.tv/TheScarberry, TheScarberry, and on Beam at beam.pro/Scarberry, Scarberry. Our next podcast will be May 14th with Kinsel right here, same time. This podcast is a part of the Two Lazy Dogs Media Group and the Girlstreamers community. Encourage, support, grow.